It seems like everyone's getting into the VR and mixed reality headset market right now, so is it time for Microsoft to get back into the game? Apparently not, but we will talk about why the big dogs over at Xbox say they're setting their sights elsewhere for now.
And Nintendo had a Direct this week talking about a ton of new stuff coming in the Nintendo Switch. We're going to talk about all this stuff and so much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. What's up, everybody? It is time for another episode of Gaming News Weekly, the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're bringing you all the biggest things happening in the video game industry on Fruit Lab, YouTube, podcast services everywhere. My name is E-Rock the Red. I am joined by this gentleman right here, Full Clip. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that, dude. You know, we're in the throes of summer.
Yeah.
Right? Is it summer? Is it officially summer yet? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I think it was like the first day.
It was recently?
Yeah, Thursday.
All right.
I don't know how this time thing goes. It's it's still 2020 right now.
Okay. It's everything's happening. So yeah, it's are you out there? Are you touching grass? Or are you still inside playing video games?
Oh yeah. Out there touching grass, getting touching water, going to the lake a lot.
Nice.
Still finding plenty of time to play video games, just sinking my life into Car Mechanic Simulator, both in the game and outside of the game, like modding the cars in the car editor and stuff like that.
Nice. Let's get back to the lake here. What are you doing? Are you fishing? Are you
just swimming? Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you fish?
Not really. I mean, I did as a kid. I'm not a stranger to it, but I haven't bought a fishing license in like 10 years.
Yeah, no, it was something I always want to do. Like I'll drive past the lake and I'll be like, man, it looks so peaceful. There's just a guy out there just fishing, and I haven't done it probably since like in 20 years. But you know, it always looks nice. So I always have that question.
I mean, I learned the fishing part. I never learned the what to do with it after. Mm-hmm. Like if I knew how to fillet it and cook it on a fire, I'd probably fish. But seeing as I'm just like sticking hooks through animals right now, as I don't want to do that for no reason.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And then like our like lake here is, I don't think it's like the best eaten out of our lake.
Just some runoff from the nuclear plant.
Yeah, it's not great, but nice. So you just been crushing the Car Mechanic Simulator still? Yeah,
nothing too crazy. Just seeing what Steam Workshop has for this PC version of it. You can grab all kinds of community-made cars and configurations for cars, made like an Exo car, which is pretty cool.
Nice. That sounds interesting. Now, do you think this will help you IRL to fix your car when there's an issue?
It inspired me to do it, actually. Just the other day, I had like a brake caliper that got stuck, like the pistons just stayed extending, and it was heating up the rim, heating up the tire. And normally I would have been like, I just better take this to a professional, make sure it's done right. Playing the game gives me a little bit more confidence, and like, you know, I don't want to be a phony. I better just take care of this myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, a professional probably could have done it faster, but I got it done, and it was probably half the price of what I would have paid somebody to do it.
See, that's impressive. See, if you know, we just had to tell our parents that always said, you know, what are these video games? What are they going to do for you? Look at us now.
Exactly.
Fixing cars.
I need to play some like House Flipper Simulator or something.
Yes, I know. I played some of that, dude, and it is not as like, you know, it's not as detailed as that. It's like, here, now put up the drywall. And you just have to click on it. And I'm like, that's it. And then I tried to do it at home, and I'm just like smushing it, and it's just not as easy, you know? I'm just right-clicking on the drywall at home. It's not working. What have I been playing? I've been playing a game that is, I can't really talk about the new AEW Fight Forever. It's under embargo for another week. I'll have that to talk about next week. And one of the games I've been playing, I've been playing a little bit of Diablo 4, but that has taken a back seat to one of our new releases this week, Final Fantasy 16.
Oh.
Ooh, I was on the fence about getting it, But let me tell you, I talked about that demo last week. I had only played maybe like the first 40 minutes. I played the next like whatever hour and a half worth, and it sinks its claws in you, man.
Really?
Holy cow. I've never been like that moved by a demo to get a game before, I don't think ever. Since Parappa the Rapper on PS1.
Really? Oh yeah. So is it that over Liza P?
Yeah, dude. This one, like Liza P is a great game, and I'm absolutely gonna get it just because it's a Bloodborne, adjacent type game, and I know what I'm getting with that game.
Yeah.
This game though, and we'll get into it more when we get into the new releases, but like the story in this demo, that I was like, I need to know more. Like it ends like on a cliffhanger, a major cliffhanger, and then I'm like, and all your progress from the first, it's like a 2.5 hour demo, and it carries over, so I don't have to do all that again, so that's good. But yeah, it let's get into it. Shall we? Let's talk about our new releases from last week. So yeah, this is all good. Like, so I'm playing so many games right now, and then another game, just real quick, Immortals of Avium was supposed to come out next month. That got delayed. Did you see that? That got delayed to August 22nd.
Yeah.
So I was on the fence about getting that one. Now chances are a little bit better because right now too much gaming. But let's talk about it's all coming up, E-Rock. Let's talk about our new releases. Let's see. We got Crash Team Rumble, came out June 20th on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, X, and S. This is a 4-on-4 multiplayer game. You got all your favorite characters. You pick your favorite character. You go out there and you gotta find Wumpa Fruit, and then you gotta get the Wumpa Fruit and you gotta take it back to your base. And the other people have to stop you from collecting Wumpa Fruit and taking it back to your base. That's what I've gleaned from watching trailers and reading about it. And yeah, if that sounds like something that you want to do, Wumpa it up. There's like all the characters have different skills and abilities. All your favorite ones are there. Crash Bandicoot, the other ones, and yeah, you could be a blocker, a booster, or a scorer. Which do you think you are in life? Not in this game.
Definitely a booster.
I was gonna say that you're a booster for sure, and I'm a scorer.
There you go.
Yeah. So Crash Team Rumble. Does this do anything for you?
Historically, these Crash games that aren't part of like the main franchise have been pretty fun, like Crash Team Racing and other iterations of this in the past.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would definitely check it out. I don't know about paying full price for it, but if it came to like your PlayStation or Xbox Game Pass.
Absolutely. It looks fun. It looks like a fun multiplayer game, but there's so many of them out right now where it has to really, stand on its own. So we'll see. Time will tell if this one can. It's going to have like battle passes, and there's microtransactions. I've been drinking a little too much. So yeah, we'll see what it does. But yeah, for all those Crash fans, get that Wumpa Fruit. Next up, Final Fantasy 16 came out June 22nd on PS5. So now this is an action role-playing game. It's very different from the previous ones. It's not, turn-based or tactical or anything like that. It's very much action-heavy. People have compared the fighting to like a Devil May Cry or something, where it's like you maybe chain things together and then you got to do different types of attacks. So that's really cool. The powers in it that I've gotten so far, they're really cool. They're fun to do. They look awesome. And then the story. So like I said, the demo ends with a cliffhanger, and the story, I'm getting like big time like Game of Thrones feel out of it. Just the way that the world is and the family dynamic and that sort of thing. What else? Dude, the music. The music is epic. It's the best video game soundtrack I've ever heard. That's not hyperbole. I feel it every time I'm playing a fight. I'm just getting amped up from this huge symphonic orchestra that's just like moving behind it. Dude, it's so epic. So yeah, I'm having a blast. It's a 60-hour game from what I heard to do the story. There's a ton of quests and stuff that you could use to supplement. There's New Game Plus, a bunch of things to do in the New Game thing. And then on top of that, you could play as giant monsters and battle each other. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was like a bunch of licensed music that was making it so good, or it sounds more like a new soundtrack, though.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Dr. Dre, just,
some AC/DC Thunderstruck.
Yep.
That gets you amped up.
That would get me amped up. But no, it's just all like this orchestra, but it's like huge, like, I don't know, it's just very, very moving, powerful stuff. So, yeah, it's a blast. I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since I think like 11, however many years ago that was. So, yeah. Been a while.
It's probably like PlayStation 2. I know the 10 and 10-2 were on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember anything about it. I remember a little bit about it. I never finished it, though. I think I probably maybe put in 10 hours. So, yeah, this one, I'm already having a blast. And then last up, Sonic Origins Plus came out June 23rd on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One XS, and Nintendo Switch. Now this one so Sonic Origins is out already. That one came out. That's 4 Sonic games, like Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Sonic CD. And now there's this Sonic Origins Plus, which is an expansion pack to that one. So if you have Sonic Origins, you can just buy the expansion pack. If you don't have Sonic Origins, you can now buy them all in one nice package, and it's all 16 games, because this is adding 12 Game Gear games to the mix. So now you could have 16 games that are all HD and a bunch of other new stuff. You can play as Amy, whoever that is.
And thank God, I say, there's a real lack of Sonic bundles out there of the retro games.
Well, now 12 Game Gear games. You know there was 12 Game Gear Sonic games?
No. I didn't know there were 12 Game Gear games, period.
Just in general. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a market for this. I don't know who it's for, but completionists that want to just get all the rings.
Those Sonic fanboys go hard.
Yeah, they love that little blue hedgehog. And they get hard
death threats
for him
every day for being Team Mario.
Exactly. Yeah. Mario, it's a me, Sonic. All right, that's it. Those were our major new releases from last week. There were a few other ones that looked good, notable. If there's anything else that you want to talk about, let us know, and we'll look into them. But we got to move on. We got a big show, so let's move on to our news of the week. All right, first up, we got to talk about this new Nintendo Direct that just took place. It was a big event, 40 minutes, and just announcement after announcement, one after another. Just like, it was crazy. I didn't watch it. Did you watch the whole thing? Did you watch it live?
Yeah, I did.
Or did you watch? You did? I watched bits and pieces afterwards, like the things I thought I'd be interested in. And I ended up, I think, watching like every... I was like, I'm just going to watch every clip of the things that I want to watch. And I think I watched like 85% of it, because there was a lot of really cool stuff that they announced there. And it's unfortunate, though, for me, because since I've gotten my Steam Deck, my Switch is kind of like not doing much. My kid plays it, so that's good.
Well, I hear you can emulate Switch games on the Steam Deck. Not that you would ever do that.
I would never. But yeah, I've seen people like on Reddit doing that, even playing like Tears of the Kingdom on there. And then they just complain at how it's not running, how they want it, and all this stuff. I'm like, sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah,
I don't got time for that. I like to play the games. A lot of people buy the Steam Deck just so that they have like something to tinker with. I'm sure it's the same thing with like PC people that constantly build in a PC to make like it better. And it's like, I just want to play video games. So, all right, let's get into this Direct. It was interesting to me too, this entirety of this, because like the Switch is in its twilight. I don't expect a ton of new stuff coming out for it, but man, after looking at this, it's not slowing down anytime soon. So the major one, we'll just jump right into the major one that they announced. What was it? Super Mario Brothers Wonder. This is a new 2D Mario game, and it looks fantastic. It's really just a throwback to the the early 2D games, but it's got like this this 3D like looking depth style, whatever you call that, But yeah, he's just jumping, he's hitting blocks with his head, just doing the thing. And then there's a shell that comes out, and you do it, and there's like an elephant.
Mario can be an elephant, and it looks like it's like Bizarro World Mario, not in like a creepy or LSD trip kind of way, but like they show him like bouncing around on the ground rolls all of a sudden. You never know what's going to happen. I think the trailer said expect the unexpected.
Yes. Yeah, and the trailer was cool because, it really did have a lot of new mechanics that, you look at all the Mario games and they're all just the same kind of stuff. There's a plant that comes up and shoots a fireball, stuff like that. And you don't see tons of new mechanics outside of major mechanics like Odyssey. You had the hat thing where you could turn in a lot of stuff. This one it's got that classic feel, but like with a ton of like new stuff added on. So it definitely, for people that like the classic Mario, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. We saw more, Detective Pikachu, the next in that series. We got an announcement for that, and it will be released on October 6th. Detective Pikachu Returns. Not the movie, which I was excited for. I really like that movie. You ever see that movie?
Yeah, it was great.
That was a great movie, and I read that they're making a sequel to that.
They should. I mean, it was a gritty feel to the Pokemon world, which feels age appropriate for us old school people.
Yeah, I remember like my wife grew up playing Pokemon. I didn't have that connection, but I remember she saw the movie and she was like, "This is like everything I dreamed of as like a kid, just like having a real life Pokemon and walking around and stuff." Super Mario RPG, it's getting a remake. Have you ever played that one?
A little bit, but I was so young when that was out.
Yeah. That one, it always looked interesting. I mean, the idea of a Super Mario role-playing game sounds great. So now, it's getting remade. It's going to have a new look. Everything's going to look great. Same turn-based combat. That comes out November 17th.
Yeah, this was probably my biggest, I have to get this one. I want to experience it, and I think that it does look really good in the direction they're going. The one thing I don't know if it's going to be a $60 full price game.
Yeah,
I don't feel like a remake should be. I'm in it for 30, but it's going to be like years before that ever happens.
Yeah, I know. It's so unfortunate. Like I keep looking for my son. All he wants are these. He wants the Yoshi's Yarn World or Crafted World, the new Kirby, and some other Super Mario game. And he's like, I want these games. I'm like, dude, they're all $60 still, $50 still. Oh, yeah. I'm like,
so I like 5 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I got to get them like a sale, like a GameStop. Like they had the buy two get one sale or whatever on the previously used one. So I told him, I'm like, you just got to be patient. You'll get them eventually. But I'm not paying $50-$60 for these old ass games. We got to look at a new WarioWare, which I was always a big fan of the WarioWare series. The last one where it was like the co-op, you had to like play together. I didn't get that one, but I like the WarioWare. It's just such a ridiculous, fun idea. So that should be pretty cool. Over 200 micro games, and it also does support co-op for 2 players and 4-player party modes. So that comes out November 3rd. Let's see. Those were like the biggest ones for me. Was there anything else that jumped out at you that you got?
The new Pikmin 4 looked kind of cool. Did you see that trailer?
I did. And those are the ones like I've always told myself, I'm like, man, I don't really like Pikmin. I never having played it before ever. But then I played that game Tinykin on the Game Pass, and it's just like Pikmin. So I was like, maybe I do like Pikmin. So we'll see. Because they also showed Pikmin 1 and 2 are being re-released on the Nintendo. So I could go back and I could try those earlier ones.
Yep. There was one other. I'm searching for the name, but I'm not coming up with it. It's some sort of like free to play almost like an open lobby type of farm life sim.
Oh yeah, Palea.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
you
that
like
that looked
those
interesting.
life sims.
Yeah,
That's
especially like none of them really do multiplayer well. So
yeah.
if this does it right, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah. And then, like, on top of that, I thought it was interesting. So the Switch is getting a ton of games that, either weren't previously announced or I was surprised they're announced. So, like, Vampire Survivors coming to Nintendo Switch, the Batman Arkham Trilogy, the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 is coming to Switch, and then Gloomhaven is also coming to Switch, as well as Hot Wheels Unleashed 2. So, they're still getting all the big titles. Some of them, are like the Arkham trilogy, coming much later,
Yeah.
but they're getting them now, and that's all that matters. So, but yeah, ton of new other stuff. So definitely, if you've got a Switch and you're interested in all that stuff, go take a look. There's a Rhythm Battle Royal, Headbangers Rhythm Royale.
Oh yeah, that one looked interesting too.
Yes, I was like, I don't know, but yeah, I'm here for it. Let's check it out. That comes out October 31st. So yeah, lots of really interesting stuff. It was a great direct. I thought it was fantastic, especially because I don't expect much. Like I said, the Switch. I'm like, what more could they have? Like they even teased a Princess Peach game coming out in next year, 2024.
Yep.
So it's still going, man. No sign of a new Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever the next thing is, but they're just going to milk the shit out of this system for the next, few years still. So very, very cool. All right, let's switch gears and talk about Xbox for the next 45 minutes, because there's a lot to talk about that's happening over in the Xbox world. Now, the Xbox Activision merger, the Xbox versus the Federal Trade Commission trial just kicked off, and we're getting all the juicy deets. It's pretty interesting, all the stuff that's coming out as part of either the FTC's case against the merger or Xbox's case for the merger. We're seeing lots of stuff that, as just consumers, we're not supposed to be on the inside.
Yeah. You're not supposed to think about that. Just worry about the headline that says Xbox bought another studio.
Right. Yeah. So let's see some of the big things coming out of this trial. First up, I thought it was interesting that Bobby Kotick, the head of Activision, and all around good guy. I don't think that's true at all. I think he's a piece of shit. I don't know him personally, so I don't want to slander him, but
Allegedly, he's a piece of shit.
yeah, he just sounds like a turd. So I thought this was interesting. So initially, he demanded a bigger revenue share in order to put Call of Duty on Xbox. So he thought that, they should have been getting more in order to have it on there. And I was just like, man, it's like already, like, I don't know. But this goes to show that, Call of Duty is a big deal. We've went back and forth about this for years now, it feels, about, like, is Call of Duty like the be all end all of this whole thing? And yeah, I guess it was. But it was in response to questions from Microsoft Counsel, in which they said that they claimed that Call of Duty wasn't a must-have game, and then they told them how this, contradicted the part that Xbox's decision to pay Activision Blizzard way more money in order to keep Call of Duty on their platforms kind of contradicts what they said about it wasn't like, it's not a big deal, but like they're just giving like Bobby Kotick whatever he wants in order to continue to have the rights for Call of Duty. So I thought that was very interesting, because that was like one of the things. So much of this trial is going to revolve around Call of Duty, like this case has,
Yeah.
So, so that was interesting. Another one, Indiana Jones was initially going to be a PlayStation 5 game, and we found out that after Xbox acquired ZeniMax, they are making it just an Xbox and PC exclusive. Now, this is another thing that came out in that what's to stop this from happening in the future with certain games. And this is one of the things where I'm like, well, Sony has their exclusives and everybody has their exclusives. So I don't see this one as a big argument. Sure, I think every studio should have its exclusives, what they are, If Indiana Jones is just an Xbox exclusive, that's fine. That's the way gaming has always worked ever since we've been gaming. It was always the console wars. So to me, making it a game exclusive over others is not a be all end all to for this whole thing. So I just thought it was interesting that it was initially planned to be a on there and then switched over. So. All right, another thing, Microsoft admitted that they have lost the console wars and basically said that they've always been third behind Sony and Nintendo. And because of that, they're betting on a different strategy by generating profit through game sales rather than console sales and selling its consoles at a loss. And then trying to use the purchase of hardware in hopes of making up the revenue through sales of games and accessories. So that's kind of what they're saying is why, they have the Game Pass and why this plan to acquire Activision Blizzard will help that, listen, we know we can't compete with them in terms of the games that they're making, the consoles that they're making, but this is the service that we're going to provide. We're going to put all these games out there, and hopefully that's what's going to draw people to us. So I thought that was interesting. They finally, we finally said it, Xbox, third place. Who would have thunk it for all these years? Were you were an Xbox? Were you an Xbox kid growing up, or were you a PlayStation?
But then the 360 hit, and I think it won that generation. PS4, I believe, it won the next generation. Right now, don't know. PC, I think it's having its renaissance.
Yep. And then I thought this was pretty interesting. So early on, let's going back to the Call of Duty thing. We've talked about this Call of Duty either whether it can be on PlayStation, whether it can be on Xbox, and Jim Ryan, the head of Sony, has always said that we're going to lose Call of Duty when this happens. It's unfair. They can't allow this. And they found during this trial, they found an email that he wrote to the PlayStation team and said in this email, quote, it's not an Xbox exclusivity play at all. They're thinking bigger than that, and they have the cash to make moves like this, talking about the acquisition. I've spent a fair bit of time with both Phil Spencer and Bobby Kotick over the past day. I'm pretty sure we will continue to see Call of Duty on PlayStation for many years to come. We have some good stuff cooking. Keep your eyes peeled. I'm not complacent. I'd rather this hadn't happened, but we'll be okay. More than okay. So that was an email he sent to the team. And then soon after that, argued that they're not going to get Call of Duty and it's going to be the end of everything. So it was really interesting that, these are the two sides of Jim Ryan, and especially what we did see him saying at one point too, like, I don't care about Call of Duty, I just want to block your merger. Remember when we heard that behind the scenes? So it seems like that Jim Ryan is the true one, where he feels like, okay, we're always going to have Call of Duty, but let's put a little bit of a wrench in the works. So yeah, this was all all pretty early on in this trial. Those were the main takeaways. What else? Microsoft expects the next generation of consoles to come out in 2028. And then I thought this is interesting that if the merger goes through, PlayStation 6 would not give their plans to Activision. So,
so they won't be able to develop whatever their upcoming games are on that console.
Yeah, it's weird though. If they want Call of Duty, I feel like they would have to make it available.
Yeah,
So
but they, I guess, presumably want to keep those plans out of the hands of Microsoft, who would
right,
then own Activision Blizzard.
absolutely, yeah. So and then they did talk about a little bit of the cloud. Remember, we talked about the cloud with the CMA, the UK thing, and Sarah Bond from Microsoft said that Xbox Cloud is Game Pass Ultimate's least popular feature. So it's not even something that is regularly used. So a lot of interesting stuff. There's 5 days of this, and this was day one. So we'll see what's coming in the next few days. All right, while we're talking about Xbox and Game Pass, let's talk about the new wave of Game Pass games being added in June. It's got me excited. There's some titles that I'm really excited for. So out now, Need for Speed Unbound is now available. You said you bought this one, right?
Oh yeah, I played the hell out of that game.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it out.
It's a good one. Did you play Underground back in the day? Underground 2?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
never did. I think the last one I played was Heat or Most Wanted.
So those two were like the holy grail of Need for Speed and a lot of people's memories who were playing since back then because of the customization. And this is, I haven't played them all, but this is the first one that I've played since then that feels the most like those.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm excited to check that out. This one too, The Bookwalker, just came out June 22nd. This one, just listen to the thing here. The Bookwalker is a narrative adventure in which you play as Etienne Quist, a writer turned thief with the ability to dive into books. Use your powers to journey between reality and book worlds and steal legendary items like Thor's hammer and Excalibur to restore your ability to write. It's like, man, what a cool idea. Haven't had any time with it, but I'm gonna check it out. It sounds like a good premise for a game that came out already. And then coming out June 27th, Bramble the Mountain King. It's a grim adventure set in a world inspired by dark Nordic fables. And then Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch, also comes out June 27th. It's a rabbit in like a armor or mech or something. I don't know. I stayed away from that because, the fist thing. I get, terrible flashbacks. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. This is you got to care for crops, livestock, and more as your very own Story of Seasons unfolds.
This is also known as the real Harvest Moon.
Oh, really? Have you played Story of Seasons?
I haven't, but this is supposedly where the developers actually branched off to. And the Harvest Moon games that they have now, different studios entirely. And,
really?
But this seems interesting. I'm afraid to show my wife this one because she might spend hours and hours, and then I'm going to have to join her.
There you go. No, it sounds. I look forward to your thoughts on it next week. Arcade Paradise comes out July 3rd. This was one that I have almost bought probably like 3 times. It's been on sale a couple weeks ago. I almost bought it at full price. This is the one where you run a laundromat and you decide you're going to put in some arcade games. So it's like a laundromat sim, but then like it turns into you buy arcade cabinets and you put them in there, and then you could also play the arcade games that you have, and they're like knockoffs. They're not like real arcade games, but and there's over 35 different arcade games to choose from and play. So I'm excited to finally get a chance to check that out. And then July 5th, Sword and Fairy Together Forever comes out and puts you in a command of a memorable party of characters, each with unique personalities, motives, skills, strengths, and weaknesses. So it blends ancient mythology and traditional Asian aesthetics. So there you have it. Those are all the games coming out at the end of June, beginning of July. Some good ones, and I mean, Need for Speed and Arcade Paradise are both games that, like I said, I've considered purchasing a couple times on PC and on consoles. So, leaving June 30th, DJ Maxx Respect 5, Empire of Sin, Matchpoint Tennis Championships, Olija, Omori, and Road 96. Those are all words that I said.
Yeah. You want to hit the DLC real quick?
Sure.
We got Fallout 76, Once in a Blue Moon. That's the new one that's going to add like werewolves to Appalachia.
Oh,
We
that's
just
right.
saw the preview there at
Yeah.
Game. Which one was it?
One
The
of those
Xbox one?
things.
Yeah. Halo Infinite Season 4 Infection sounds pretty interesting. Didn't know that they were even still making things for Halo Infinite. I thought they just kind of gave up on it.
I did too. I thought they shuttered that game.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls Online Necrom. I assume
that's
that's
right.
the new one.
That's the new one. Yeah, we talked about that one last week too with the thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, some big DLC. It's all happening. But unfortunately, if you want to play those games, pretty soon you're gonna have to dish out a little bit more. So, Xbox just announced that they are raising the prices of both the Series X and Game Pass. Now, the Series X is going up in price, but not in the US. The US is staying the same. Other countries, it's going up in price. And now it's going up in all different prices all over the place. But that starts August 1st. That goes up in price. And then July 6th, Game Pass Ultimate is going up in price everywhere. So it's going to go up. It's going to be a $2 increase to $16.99 for Game Pass Ultimate and $10.99 for the regular Game Pass. The PC version will remain the same price, $9.99. So not a huge jump, but
yeah, I missed that detail. I thought I was going to have to dig deep for that extra $1, but I guess not.
You're safe. They're still trying to get people on board that PC Game Pass. So you're good for a little bit, yeah.
So when we saw the Xbox showcase and all those brand new day one AAA titles coming to it, was this a little bit predictable for you?
I felt like that, yeah. So I know Spencer mentioned it. I mean, this was like last year. He said that we're probably going to have to raise the price sometime soon. And that was the last we heard about it. And then, yeah, I guess we should have probably figured, yeah, like day one, and you're going to pay a little bit more. Because it's still like you look at all those games that are coming out, and you're like, I could have access to all of those for $17, and it's still a good value, you know? But talking about the raising the price of anything, it's never a good look.
Well, I agree. You know, I sort of expected them to be raising the prices eventually, but the surprising part to me is that it was only like $1 or $2. I figured we were going to be a jump of about $5.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could have easily seen them popping it up to $20 a month, right? For all the the quality games. And who knows, you know, if the merger goes through, it's definitely a possibility because that catalog is gonna grow substantially from all those games. So we will see. All right, one more bit of Xbox news. So the Xbox Studios head, Matt Cutie with the Booty, in an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, suggested that you know, they're not going to be doing VR anytime soon over there on the Xbox. He said for Xbox games to be successful, they need to reach around 10 million players. And he said, I think for us, it's just a bit of a wait until there's an audience there. He said, we're very fortunate that we have got these big IPs that have turned into ongoing franchises with big communities. We have 10 games that have achieved over 10 million players life to date, which is a pretty big accomplishment. But that's the kind of scale that we need to see success for the game. And it's not quite there yet with AR and VR. So yeah, their idea of a successful game is pretty intense. 10 million players.
Yeah. What, like literally 10 games in their catalog, they said?
Yes. Yeah, I wonder what those games are. Halo
1, 2, 3, 4. And probably Fable.
Gears of War.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty crazy because then when you look at like the PlayStation VR, I think they had 5 million for the first one, 5 million purchases over the course of the entire life of that. And then the VR 2, I think they said it was like 600,000 in the first little bit, and that was considered a big success. So yeah, their scales of success are definitely off. But I totally understand before investing in a large piece of hardware, you know, you want to have that, you know, enough people that want to do it.
Yeah, and This doesn't mean that other games aren't going to be in VR. I mean, Minecraft is already in VR. Apparently, Microsoft Flight Simulator is like amazing in VR.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to be dabbling in that for probably, I guess, their PC titles, but it just won't be coming to Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, you think they're worried about, what was that one thing that they had that you could use it? It was for the Xbox, and it was like a motion control thing. What was that called? The Kinect. Yeah. Maybe they're still feeling a little bit burnt from that whole thing.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, because it's all cyclical. Microsoft did the HoloLens, so they were really like trailblazers in this AR VR thing. And Google did its Google Glasses, but they had to discontinue those because of low adoption. I wouldn't doubt that Google is going to get back into like the VR space.
Yeah. So only time will tell. I mean, I guess, we're gonna see. It's interesting looking at the world of VR and AR now as to what's gonna take off, what's not. We just talked about the Apple one, and if that's gonna, something is gonna need to happen. There's gonna need to be some sort of major shift in order to get people into this. And I think it's going to be cost. It's probably going to come down to, when it becomes cheap and easy for people to just have VR that's, not sticking your phone in a box. Remember when those were like all the rage? Like, I have VR.
Oh, yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, nope. But I know what you're saying, because like the Quest 2 exploded in popularity. Low price, low barrier of entry, and everything was sort of compact.
Yes, and ease of use, too. It's all right on there. You don't need a PC. You don't need all this other stuff. It's like, it's there. It's a simple package. So, yeah, it's. I think we're still many years away from it being pretty much widely used, but we're getting there. All right, next up, EA is doing a bit of restructuring. Now, this one... it was a little surprise for me because I thought this already happened. But EA Studios decided that they are going to have two studios. It's going to be EA Sports, and they're going to handle all the sports things. And then there's going to be EA Entertainment, and they're going to do everything else that's not sports. So I was like, didn't that already happen? But I think what's happening is that it was all under the same umbrella too of EA, and now they're completely shifting, and they're going to have their own creative ownership and financial accountability in each one of these segments. It's not just going to be EA games anymore. So that's interesting. We'll be able to see what's going on with that. A statement from EA CEO Andrew Wilson. He said, EA Entertainment encompasses extraordinary owned IP, including some of the world's most beloved blockbuster franchises, as well as licensed IP through powerful collaborations. We're building the future of interactive entertainment on a foundation of legendary franchises and innovative new experiences, which represents massive opportunities for growth. So it seems like they just want to empower more of those IP, get away from being known as the sports people, and focus on getting those popular EA IP out there. So
I'm gonna go conspiracy brain for a second.
Ooh, I love it.
This might be a way, because this comes up in YouTube comments and everywhere else. EA, the potential of being purchased. So if someone were to buy EA, maybe for licensing reasons, it's easier for them to sell the EA Entertainment half of things and keep the EA Sports and any kind of contracts that they have there.
I like it. Who's buying it? What do you think?
Probably Microsoft. But who knows? Like, maybe, Apple's making big moves into all this stuff. Maybe they want to put a big studio underneath of the Apple brand.
Yeah. I mean, you think about the studios under the EA Entertainment, Respawn, DICE, BioWare, like huge studios with a lot of great stuff. So yeah, it would be absolutely worth, anybody who wants it to get that, some good stuff there. Maybe this could be the next PlayStation one. If the Microsoft thing goes through, the Activision thing, maybe we'll see Sony follow up and buy this.
Maybe so.
And then last up, And the thing I know you were most excited to talk about, Roblox is getting mature. I don't know how mature, but it now allows creators to build content for people 17 and older. Now, I don't think there's going to be like explicit sex games on Roblox.
Yeah.
But we can hope, right?
Yeah, I think you're looking at a mature rating and rather than a adults only rating.
Oh, when I hear about something that is getting a, 17 and older, I mean, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, it's I was surprised to see that they said 38% of its daily active users were over 17. The only thing I know about Roblox is that my son watches, he's 5, he watches people on YouTube play Roblox, the obbies, and it's all like this little stuff where they like ride ponies or do stuff like that. And that's all I know about it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I don't really know what to compare it to because it's not just a game, it's a game engine that lets just about anybody have an accessible way to build a game. Right. I've even built an obby myself a few years back.
Was it mature?
No. I mean, it was harder than a lot of kids would have been able to do. But it was just fun to get into there. And then some of the games are very simplistic, but you never know what kind of games are going to be on there. I've played a little bit of Roblox. But I think where that 38% of the 17-plus player base comes from, a lot of that's going to be kids who adopted it much younger and have just been playing it all this time. Mm-hmm. Because it's, what is it, like a decade old at this point?
Yeah.
Maybe more, I'm not sure. But and then also parents who are playing with their kids to have something to do with them or, moderate what's going on.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy when you think about, like, what they've built, the Roblox and everything, and how much money they've made. It's pretty crazy. But it's cool that now they're allowing this to happen, so creators can have a little bit more, flexibility in what they create. They said it'll allow creators to feature more mature themes and storylines in TV shows and stand-up comedy. This may include violence, blood, crude humor, romantic themes, and alcohol. So, yeah, just stuff like that. Not, hardcore sexual acts. Like you posted in the show notes.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, Roblox is finally getting porn.
Oh, but one detail we should say, the way they're going to be able to moderate it is that you're going to have to send a photo ID, like a picture of your ID to them so that they can verify that you're 17 plus.
Huh. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people are probably not going to be happy about that. It's a little overstepping the bounds, but I mean, what's the alternative? You check a box to say you're 17 plus, and then you've got a 12-year-old witnessing.
Well, you always have to do like a math problem. That's you always see that one. Like,
find what year you were born and how old that would make you.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's not some people don't have IDs that show their age. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, get excited. I think we should build a Gaming News Weekly obby when this happens.
Definitely.
And just put a bunch of butts everywhere. Can that be done?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, sounds good. All right, look for that in the near future. Gaming News Weekly obby starring Full Clip and Erect the Red and a bunch of butts. All right, I think we've covered everything. You got anything else you want to talk about?
One quick thing. We'd be remiss if we didn't say anything about this because it's all anybody seems to be talking about. A submarine built, controlled by a $30 Logitech Bluetooth controller from 10 years ago. What do you think about that?
Oh, my goodness. When you think about it in terms like that, what were these people thinking? It's just in a can controlled by a Logitech controller.
This is why you buy first party, people.
Oh, boy.
That's the lesson to be learned here.
It is why you buy. Yep, absolutely. But, RIP, it seems like, to those intrepid explorers. Yeah. Well, did you see that the sales of that controller, it was sold out everywhere after this? Everybody went bought those controllers. Maybe
we need to get on a we need to get on those 3D printed control caps that he was using.
Yes, yeah. So that's a big market for that right now. And there was like a Steam game that shot up in the top charts. It was like about a boat that is, or submarine that is stuck under the ocean. Something. I don't really know. But yeah, all right. Let's get out of here. Thanks for checking out this episode of Gaming News Weekly. You can find us every single Monday on Fruit Lab, YouTube, and podcasts. You can find both myself, Erector Red, and Full Clip posting our gaming clips over on Fruit Lab. If you're unfamiliar with Fruit Lab, go check it out. You could earn pips. It's like a cryptocurrency by watching videos and putting video game content on the website. It's really cool. And then you can also find us on YouTube. I'm at Pop Culture Playground. Full Clip is at GameFAQs, GameFAX. He's over there building cars on Twitch, FullClip_FL. And then, yeah, we're on TikTok, Gaming News Weekly. And then, yeah, that's I think that's everything. Did I get everything? I think I did.
Yes, we're everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't.
We're on the Goodwill Blimp.
Ooh, that's a good idea. We should do that next time. Goodwill Blimp. And it said
Goodyear, sorry.
we can't afford the Goodyear Blimp.
Yep. We just found a blimp at Goodwill.
Perfect. Yeah. That is really the only one we can afford. The Goodwill Blimp. Or maybe the AmVets Blimp. I don't know. We'll see which one. All right. That's all I've got. Thanks so much. We will see you next week with more Gaming News Weekly.